What's up, everybody? Today I just want to talk quickly about this little drawing here. Um, the interesting thing about this drawing is that it depicts a more modern, a current take on the differences between women and men. These are men here, see with little swords or sticks, maybe. And these are the women, get their hair. And this is old people and babies, because that's what women are naturally wired to take care of. Old people and babies and each other. And the men in the house, at some point, not anymore, because that's patriarchy, oppression, and misogyny. But this is actually the more accurate. You hear of, what's it called? Hunter-gatherer society of ancient times. Well, that's just some kind of theoretical formulation of what we used to do. But this is actually, today, still accurate in most of the world. The West, well, in the U.S. now, you have those, what's it called? The advertisements for army recruitment, and it's like lesbian moms. Like, the army has lesbian moms now, so you should join. So obviously they're pandering to women. But they don't put the women out here, not usually. It's usually still in the office or doing some sort of office job, some sort of cognitive work, working on computers or whatnot. But this is the more accurate. So this is actually the protector nurturer society. And this is actually what you see in all the world except the West, which is super modernized and like mutated in the weirdest way with ideologies, and I don't know what the goal is. Maybe some one world government control, get rid of the man, castrate the man, chop off their dicks, and turn them all into women so they're easier to control. I don't know what it is, but anywhere else in the world, this is how it still is. Women are inside the circle, they're inside the perimeter, they're inside the house, they're inside the schools, they're inside the hospitals, taking care of people. They take care of people. They are people oriented. They are hyper socialized. They are very, very social. So socializing is their nature. That's why when they get together, they love talking about people. They love talking about each other. They love talking about their friends and their families and their coworkers and their bosses and their husbands and their brothers and their boyfriends and their kids. Women are hyper social. It's a great thing. It's a wonderful thing. Not a bad thing. And what would you say men are? I don't know. Survival oriented? Yeah. Well, you can call it that. Maybe it's oversimplification, but survival oriented. Women don't have to worry about survival as much because they delegate to these fucking guys. And these guys do all the survival behavior for them. And they're outside. Maybe they're hunting, maybe they're fighting, they're protecting, they're searching, they're going out on adventures. You say, yeah, women did it too. Yeah, there's a lot of migration, right? So everyone got together, they all threw all their stuff on their backs, and they migrated from one side of the continent to the other, or something like that. All right, but this is the typical situation. Men are doing the guarding. They're the ones working security. They're the bouncers. They're the military. They're the police. They're the, what would you call it? The contractors, this security contractors and whatnot. They're going out. They're fighting. They're building stuff. They're building war machines. They're building weapons. They're building cars. They're designing. They're also building society. So they're building the roads, building the houses, building the buildings, the offices, the nice cushiony offices. That's all them. They're fixing the HVAC. They're fixing the airplanes. That's them. Men. Women are in here doing the social. This is what they're wired to do. That's why for a man to pursue mating in the old world, there was some process. Maybe their parents found the partner for the man, or in some societies that's still the case. Or, you know, they just sort of went like, hey, you're going to be my wife. And they're like, yes, okay, that sounds like a good plan. Because they didn't have Instagram, so they didn't have like 100 million, you know, Chads hitting them up in their DMs every second of the day. So they were like, you know, yeah, I'll be your wife. Cool, we'll do that. We'll try it out. Till death do his part. And it used to actually last. It used to actually last. Like, that's a crazy thing. It used to last. Like, marriage used to last. Imagine that. Wedding vows used to last. And, but now, you know, for now, in the modern world, the guy has to become socialized in order to pursue mating opportunities. So this guy here, he has to learn how to orient himself socially towards the social world, which means he has to become more feminized. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, because he has to learn how to express himself linguistically in words. He has to become a little bit more in tune to his emotions. It's kind of good things, right? In the Jungian sense, he's tapping into his anima, his feminine side, which is good because eventually he's going to have kids and he's going to want to be able to tune into those emotions. I have a dad who can't understand, he has absolutely no access to his emotions. So when I was younger, he used to just explode and flip shit and scream and shout and toss tables and whatnot. So it's better that he becomes socialized. It's better that he learns to tap into his emotions a little bit, because then that thickens the connection that she has with him. But it also forces him to become social proof. When you hear social proofing, you know, it's kind of clout, yes, but it's also like a list of ex-girlfriends. Like, it's kind of like reviews for her. So she's looking at these ex-girlfriends going, well, okay, well, you know, she looks kind of good, and, you know, she looks like, okay, well, they had this kind of relationship, and, okay, so he can do this, and he understands how to get there, and he can, like, talk through these kinds of feelings, and he has this vibe, this type of energy, right? So that's all sort of social proofing. They see it's also similar to the handbag metaphor or allegory, where like, oh, well, other girls have wanted him before, therefore I will want him, because it's a little bit of their competitive nature where they're like, I want what other women want. So, you know, there's also this rule amongst men in dating where if they have a girlfriend or a wife, then they become like extremely more attractive than they were before when they were single, just because they already have a woman, because women typically want what other women want. What else? Well, it's also the case that these guys out here aren't worried about being comfortable, because their whole job, the way they get value, these here are born with value. They're born with beauty. They're born with reproductive capacity. Man's only values his ability and capacity to sacrifice himself for the people inside the perimeter. And so these guys, they are wired to not feel discomfort. They are wired to ignore discomfort. They are wired to self-sacrifice and pursue dangerous situations, and it kind of works for a lot of guys, right? You get to pursue adventure, and it's fun, and it's exciting, because once you stop listening to that fear of discomfort, you actually start living, and it's kind of cool. You can overcome your emotions and not care anymore. They have a way harder time doing that. So what you hear from a lot of women is, I felt uncomfortable, he made me feel uncomfortable, this situation feels uncomfortable. Sorry. A lot of discomfort. Women express discomfort. You'll never ever hear from a man, oh, I felt uncomfortable. Men don't, a real man, maybe some pussies, I don't know, but real men don't say that, because they don't give a shit about discomfort. If they feel discomfort at all, they don't care. They completely look past it. Coming over a sickness here. These guys are literally outside the perimeter. They're over here attacking. If they survive an attack, they're happy. If they survive another hunt, they're happy. all they want to do afterwards is freaking drink and eat and be merry. They don't give a shit about discomfort. So that's why women are sort of wired to feel comfortable. They're inside the perimeter where it's comfortable and safe. Why? Because of men. Because of men. Okay? So that puts us in a funny situation where you take both of these guys, with the men and women, and put them in an office where everyone's doing the same job, basically, working on computers, moving numbers around on a computer. And, guys are wired one way out here, women are wired another way in here, but no one acknowledges or maybe is even aware of those different wirings. So there's a lot of discomfort, there's a lot of miscommunication, there's a lot of mixed signals, there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of, suing, mainly from people inside here, because, the opportunities to sue are a lot open and available for the ones inside the perimeter. I won't name names. It rhymes with Kremen. And these guys are all confused because they're like, well, what the hell is she telling me? She doesn't feel uncomfortable. I don't know what I did. That's why you have to sit down and explain to them, and they get called into HR, and they're like, well, you did this, this, and this. And the guy's just mind blown. He's like, well, I didn't realize I did anything to anybody. I just said words, or I looked at her a certain way. And the HR girl, maybe her name is Tanny or something, Tabitha. She goes, well, does the rules and regulations say that if she feels a certain way, and this guy's going, who the fuck cares about feelings? I don't care how I feel. They're not wired to feel. They are. And they have to be. It's how they were able to take care of the old and the babies. But now they're not supposed to take care of the old and the babies anymore, because that's patriarchy, oppression, and misogyny. And these guys aren't supposed to protect or provide anymore, because that's the old ways. Women are strong and independent, unless they need to be victims. They're Schrodinger's feminists. They're strong and independent until the context changes and they have to be powerless victims, totally incompetent. They can't even consent to anything because they're so incompetent and helpless. So this little jog here, I thought it just explains a lot, and it does a lot better than the hunter-gatherer society, because that's just kind of hypothetical. Women can also hunt and men can also gather, so it doesn't really make much sense. But the protector-nurture, what would you call this, image, I guess, symbol, is more accurate, and even more accurate in the present, where it's still the case that the man is expected to protect and provide, that the woman is expected to nurture and care for. Okay? Thanks for listening to my stupid lecture on the differences between men and women. There's nothing in between except insanity and extreme narcissism. Thank you very much, and I wish you a pleasant night. God bless.